For the 18th time, Peter Obi has won another poll. Why this poll should have other candidates worried is because they have successfully predicted elections in the past, and this is the second time they are conducting polls for the forthcoming presidential election. Peter Obi equally won the last one. By the way, don't let anyone deceive you that this is just a voting intention poll. This is real. Politicians know it. That's why they are employing desperate measures, like this one from PDP in the north.
So there is a confusion here in Bauchi State that people are saying that Peter Obi is now in PDP. He is together with Atiku. So we want Labour Party to tell our president, our candidate Peter Obi, to come to Bauchi State and tell people of Bauchi State that it's the Labour Party because there is problem.
PDP guys are pasting old posters of Atiku and Peter Obi in the north in order to deceive people that he is still in PDP. This should be penalized by ANAP. This can't be legal. How desperate can PDP be? They want to ride on the growing popularity of Peter Obi in the north. Anyway, this latest poll is a source of worry to many establishment politicians. They just can't fathom what Peter Obi is doing differently. Even an APC chieftain confessed that Peter Obi is their biggest threat. Let's quickly see the numbers and what it means in actual votes. Starting in the North Central Geopolitical Zone, Peter Obi leads here with 24%, followed by Bola Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, and Kwankwaso in that order. 35% is very huge for the undecided voters. Also, the refused. These are people who refuse to reveal who they will be voting for, or maybe they wouldn't be voting at all in the election. Following the percentages that each candidate got in the poll, let's see what it means in terms of actual votes. Peter Obi got 24%. That will mean about 3.3 million votes. Bola Tinubu about 1.2 million votes. Atiku Abubakar about 1.1 million, and Kwankwaso 282,000 votes. In the North Central Zone, Benue State has the highest registered voters of 2.8 million. In the Northeast Geopolitical Zone, we have one presidential candidate that comes from the zone. That's Atiku Abubakar, and a vice presidential candidate, that's Shetima. So here will be a battleground of sorts. Atiku leads here with 23%, followed by Tinubu and Peter Obi, with Kwankwaso having a distant 2%. Undecided voters are worryingly high at 38%. So let's see what it means in terms of actual votes. Atiku Abubakar's 23% means 2.9 million votes, followed by Tinubu at 1.9 million. Peter Obi at about 1 million and Kwankwaso 256,000 votes. Bauchi State has the highest registered voters in the zone at 2.8 million. Next is the Northwest Geopolitical Zone, where we have a presidential candidate that comes from the zone, that's Atiku Kwankwaso, and a vice presidential candidate, that's Yusuf Deti Ahmed. Also, it is the zone of the current president, Muhammadu Buhari, so it will be a battleground, and Atiku leads here with 17%, followed by Tinubu 15%, and surprisingly Peter Obi at 11%, even ahead of Kwankwaso, who is native to the zone. Also, undecided voters are high at 32%. Now, let's see what it means in terms of actual votes, because this is the region with the highest number of votes, about 22 million. Atiku's 17% lead means 3.8 million votes, followed by Tinubu at 3.4 million votes, Peter Obi 2.4 million votes, and Kwankwaso at 1.3 million. This sounds unbelievable, but it isn't impossible. Maybe the states where they conducted the poll in the zone skewed the results, or maybe it's the undecided voters. Something is definitely going on here. Many people say this election will pull a lot of surprises. Anyway, in the Northwest region, Kano State has the highest number of registered voters at 6 million. Next is the Southwest, and it is the geopolitical zone of Bola Tinubu According to the poll, it seems the voters here gravitate between Tinubu and Peter Obi, as you can see from the percentages. Participants that refuse to disclose their choice is also worryingly high at 38%. Who knows if all of them will eventually vote for Tinubu, or will it be shared between the topmost two? Anyway, let's see what it means in actual votes. At 22%, Tinubu will score about 4 million votes if it's a 100% turnout on election day. Peter Obi will come in at 2.7 million, while Atiku and Kwankwaso will share less than 1 million votes. In the southwest region, Lagos State has the highest registered voters, not just there, but in Nigeria. If turnout is high in Lagos, 7.1 million votes can cancel votes in some states in Nigeria. If one candidate can get a huge chunk of the votes there, that candidate stands a huge chance. Next is the Southeast geopolitical zone, where Peter Obi is native to. Southeast is known for giving bulk votes. If this region backs a candidate, it's already certain that no other candidate will make the required 25% in the zone. Here, Peter Obi leads with 50% and others are just 1% and below. Undecided voters and those that refuse to disclose their preference stand at 21% and 23% respectively. Now to what it means in actual votes. Peter Obi at 50% will bank 5.7 million votes if there is 100% turnout on election day. We all know that there will never be a 100% turnout, but even if the turnout is 50% in every zone, it doesn't still change much. The winner will still be on top. Anambra State is number 1 in this zone with the highest registered voters of 2.7 million. Next is the Deep South, the South-South geopolitical zone. Of course, there's no major presidential candidate from this zone, but a vice presidential candidate is from here. That's Ifeanyi Okowa. So will this zone be a battleground? It doesn't seem like it will be. Not just on this poll, but other genuine and reliable polls that have been conducted so far always put Peter Obi ahead in this zone. And he leads with 46%, followed by Tinubu at 9%, Atiku and Kwankwaso at 3% and 1% respectively. Now to the numbers. Peter Obi's 46% will mean 6.9 million votes. Tinubu's 9% will be 1.3 million votes. Atiku and Kwankwaso will share about 600,000 votes. It's not surprising at all because in the southern part of the country, many people feel that it is the turn of the South to produce the president after Buhari's 2 terms. In this zone, Rivers State has 3.6 million registered voters, making it the state with the highest number of voters. Before we see the summary of all the votes, it might interest you to know that the ANAP NOI poll has correctly predicted the winner of 2 elections in the past, and this is the second poll they are conducting for the 2023 presidential election. They conducted one in September. Peter Obi also won that one, just like other polls that have been conducted so far. Peter Obi have won every poll. In this particular one, Peter Obi actually gained some ground, especially in the northeast, where Atiku Abubakar lost some points. In the southeast, Peter Obi lost some points, but other candidates didn't gain. So definitely something is going on in the zone that affected the response of participants. Anyway, here's hoping that ANAP and NOI will conduct another poll in early February. By that time, many undecided people would have made up their mind on who to vote for. The most important takeaway in this latest ANAP and NOI poll is the fact that 70% of participants feel that all candidates should attend a debate, which is understandable because one can expect to apply for a job and not get interviewed by his potential employer. That never happens. And to think that these candidates are applying for the topmost job in Nigeria, and someone thinks that he should not be interviewed, that Nigerians should just trust what he says and not question them. Well, it's good that many Nigerians are smart, because if you advertise for a position in your company and after receiving many CVs and applications, you contact the applicants to come for aptitude tests or face-to-face interviews, would you take candidates that didn't show up for interviews seriously? Anyway, debates are actually more important than campaign rallies, because the atmosphere in campaign rallies are not conducive. People can't ask the candidates questions, but in a debate, the candidate is subjected to serious questioning to get into his mind and to know how workable his plans are and his understanding of the problems. Also, controversies about a candidate can also be verified through a debate. Now to the summary. 23% of participants will vote for Peter Obi on election day. What this means in real numbers is that Peter Obi will receive about 22 million votes to win the election, followed by Bola Tinubu at 12 million votes, Atiku at 9 million, and Kwankwaso at about 2 million votes. Of course, this is a pre-election voting intention poll, but the methodology used in this poll is the same one they've used in calling two previous elections correctly. So it should be taken seriously. More work should be done where necessary. And always remember, don't just watch and go. Watch and subscribe to our channel and enable notification to be notified to watch all future videos on our channel. Thank you for your support.